whenever these things are announced that these unions have won big wins, or won big concessions, or it's a great contract, I can't read the every little detail of these contracts. Even if it was available to me, I probably wouldn't understand all the legalese that they have in there anyway. And I get bored. You read a paragraph of legalese and you want to punch yourself in the balls. So, or the vagina. So I'm not giving a opinion on, like, a definite opinion on, like, they did it, because I can't know. Now, sometimes these things are done with propaganda. Sometimes you have the leadership of a union decide they want something, and so they realize that they can work with others and announce that it's big wins and it's really great, and then the average rank and file, as they call them, vote for it, and it's really not that great. I don't know. I'm not in those rooms, but I can tell you what is being reported and what maybe the union leadership says right now, and that's what this is. The Hollywood writers' strike is nearly over. I think they haven't quite, the rank and file have not quite approved this contract yet, but it's about to be voted on. Is over after guild leaders approve the contract with the studios. Because, the reason they're saying it's over is because basically when the guild leaders approve it, it's all but a sure thing that the rank and file will endorse it. Hollywood's writers' strike was declared over after nearly 5 months Tuesday night, when board members from their union approved a contract agreement with studios, bringing the industry at least partly back from a historic halt in production. And listen, folks, if we don't have the bread and circuses, it all falls apart. It all falls apart. The writers still have to vote to ratify the contract themselves in early October, but lifting the strike will allow them. So they've lifted so I guess the strike is over for now. They've lifted the strike. It's voted on in October. If the rank and file, the writers, were to actually vote against it, then the strike would start back up. So for the moment, it is the strike is over. But yes, this does seem like, from what I've read, a big win for these writers. They've got much more compensation. 3-year agreement includes significant wins in main areas the writers had fought for: compensation, length of employment, size of staffs, and control of artificial intelligence. That means they're all going to have their own robot dogs, is what they fought for. And it's in the contract now. Every one of them gets a robot, or you could have a robot cat, but you get either AI cat or dog if you're a writer in Hollywood. No, I'm kidding. Of course, what they were actually fighting against is whether studios could use AI to just write all of their scripts. So the writers are saying they wanted restrictions on how much AI could be used. And they won that. I'll come back to that in a second. The Guild also negotiated new residual payments based on the popularity of streaming shows, where writers will get bonuses for being part of the most popular shows on Netflix, HBO Max, and other services. They also got a minimum wage of writers increase to some degree. Anyway, they won a lot of the things they wanted. Let's continue to another worker win, although yet again, I want to give the caveat that if workers on the ground say this is not all that it's being billed as, then I will not argue with them. I think it should be left to the actual workers as to whether these things are actually what they want or not. But either way, this is clearly has to do with the fact that there have been many, many strikes by fast food workers in California, because fast food workers, along with all workers, are realizing their power a little more than they did before, are realizing that we have the power of the numbers against the ruling elite. And there have been hundreds of strikes by fast food workers in California over the past few years. And they won a $20 hourly pay and an industry council. Now, I'm skeptical of this industry council thing, but who knows? Maybe it's a new way to deal with this, and maybe it actually matters. I don't know. In the face of recent intense pressures on fast food workers, employees in the sector in California are about to get a boost with the creation of a body that will set wages and other standards for the industry. The move is a hard-fought win for the labor movement in the state, and it's called the Fast Food Accountability and Standards Recovery Act. Fast food workers in California have held over 450 strikes since 2020, according to the labor group Fight for $15. The unrest was spurred by having to continue working through the pandemic amid low wages, right? Remember that? They were the front lines fucking workers. We were all supposed to cheer them. We were out on the sidewalks with our foam number one hands. Frontline workers, woo! And then they said, well, could we have a little more than like fucking slave wages? And we were all like, fucking no! No, you losers! But yay, front lines! You're on the front lines. If this pandemic gets really bad, you die first. Well, could we get just like, I'm just talking like $1 more an hour? No, you losers. You work at a fast food restaurant. Why do you want more money, you loser? But also, yay, frontlines workers. They're heroes. Because they're still serving us our hamburgers, even in the midst of everyone could be dying. Good for, yay, frontline work. Could we just have just like 1 month of paid maternity leave so I can actually, have a child and it not be brought into a hellscape? No! Get back to work! Serve the burgers, you losers! Thank you, Sherry, for the super chat. And thank you, Sherry, for ending my elongated sketch. That should have ended sooner. Workers have also reported high rates of wage theft, being denied meal breaks or overtime pay, workplace injuries, harassment, and retaliation. And can we just pause for a second and talk about wage theft? Wage theft, when it's added up, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I showed the chart a few weeks ago. Wage theft in America, which is when the corporations, and it is largely corporations, it's largely not done by like a rogue manager who's like, oh, you got a tip? Give me that. No, it's usually done by corporate entities, and wage theft, stealing the hard-earned wages of generally close to minimum wage employees, minimum and not that much above that. Wage theft adds up across America to way more than street theft adds up to, than burglary adds up to. Meaning the number one, just like, and I'm not talking about all the other white collar crime, all the tax loophole crime, all that kind of theft. I'm talking just straight up wage theft versus street theft, like a guy taking your wallet or stealing a car or something. Those against each other, wage theft is way more. So corporations are stealing like out of your pocket more than street crime is. Yet how much are we talking about? Oh, there's been an increase in crime across America, right? There's been an increase of car theft and things like that, even though a lot of it's not true. But they never talk about wage theft. Never. You find like one article on it a year.